Okay, we've actually graphed 6 problems already, basically using very simple technique, and that is plotting points and then connecting the dots together. There's nothing wrong with that technique, but I do want to talk about, what has transpired since Wells was doing this, which initially, I guess the way they taught it, I'm really not quite sure, would probably point plotting, and then they would do what's called characteristic features of a curve, and to get a better idea what it looks like. And then we're just looking for a rough picture, by the way. What has changed greatly, though, the digital computer. It allows us to graph these things very rapidly. So I want to go to a piece of software. It's called Grapher. It's running on OS 10. And I'm going to graph this problem over here, which is, 4x squared minus y squared equals minus 4. And, certainly when you graph that out, let me turn off the other 2 graphs over there. I see this picture here. Now, if you want to, zoom in, zoom out, you can. I want to point out what I mean by that. I'm going to zoom out now. You might say, get a better picture now. You can also zoom in on a region. For example, let's say I want to do maybe something like this over here. Now, there's a problem with this. The scale's changing. If you notice over here, the scale here is different than the scale over there, all right? What's this a curve of? It's a hyperbola. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph these things out over here, and these are what's known as asymptotic behavior, and I will zoom out in a moment. So there's 2 asymptotes. It's asymptotic behavior for the curve. And again, when you study conic sections, you'll be able to easily derive these guys. Right now, what are you doing? You're looking at a picture that a computer has generated. If you zoom out, what you're going to notice is the curve for the hyperbola and these lines over here pretty much look identical. I'm going to zoom into a region, and that region's over here, let's say, and look at that. Now, granted, when I say they're almost identical, when you get in really close, you do see there's a separation between the two. But as you go towards plus or minus infinity, these curves are indistinguishable. All right, we say in the limit are the same thing. All right, so let me just recenter, and let me get my graph back and zoom out a little bit. And again, you're seeing a picture, hopefully, of what they've asked you to graph. Again, if you go to my notes, that's figure 227. Let me look at that. And that's the picture. Now, this picture doesn't have the asymptotes in. I decided to draw those asymptotes. So the remaining part of this is going to be using a computer, and I'm going to mainly rely upon Grapher. If you go towards the end of the notes, though, I do talk about using a product called Sage, which I think is quite good. Other products that might be familiar with, Wolfram Alpha is quite good. That's an online software. And also Desmos, which a lot of students use Desmos. They like Desmos. Whatever you do to visualize is fine. Here's the deal, though. 1 through 6, I can't say this enough, have some idea with the table of data what this thing looks like, all right? And then, of course, we're going to speed the process up by using a machine to get it graphed out. Thank you.